Good afternoon, Camp Davy Crockett.
I'm Hayden.
And I'm Zeph.
And I'm Jerry.
And welcome to the Camp Davy Chronicles.
Week not 4, because it's NYLT week, and next week is week 4.
That is true. I'm excited for week 4.
I am too.
I'm getting ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen him like around camp, and every time I ask him, like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just getting ready for week 4.
Now, to address the background noise, it is raining very much right now.
That's true. We had a 5-minute conversation of do we shut the windows or do we not, and we decided not to because it's a natural sound.
Yeah, and it gets really hot in here when you close the windows. But I don't know. Maybe you'll leave the cricket sounds off this time and just have the rain.
Yeah. So if you hear thunder, you hear rain. That's what it is. It's not just static.
It's real.
Yeah. Don't break your speakers out and throw them out.
It has been a very rainy week.
It has been.
Finally.
Yeah, at long last. We've needed it for a long time.
Yeah. Didn't I say this was going to be the rainiest
I'm
week?
pretty sure you did, but we'll get to that at the end of the summer.
Okay. I think I did, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did too. But I mean, I don't care. I welcome it. What do we call this week? Like, what is this week really called at this point?
Off
week.
Yeah.
Off week.
That is true. It's been a vacation week, I felt like.
More or less.
Being at camp is always awesome. And I have not worked as hard this week as I normally do, so.
Yeah.
actually get to enjoy camp
Right, yeah.
instead of working camp and moving for 18 hours a day.
Well, you always enjoy camp, right?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, and in an entirely different way.
Right.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy camp.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to Sean and Zeph last night, and we got to sit down and they went and got some food and brought it in, and I cooked. And I was like, I haven't cooked on camp in like ages. I mean, it's been so long. And then we went and watched a movie, and it was fun just to relax and kind of.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie on camp all year, this year.
Yeah.
We used to try to watch movies in our cabin at night, and it was just, by the second week or so, you're like,
Right.
I'm way too tired to watch a movie. But hey, this week we got to watch a movie.
Yeah. We just had a really big lightning strike.
And there's the thunder.
Yeah, Zeph has his back to the window, so me and Jerry just looked at each other. And Zeph kept talking.
We need to make sure that we speak up over the rain or close the windows if it gets really bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, this is the 4th of July week, and that was nature's fireworks. So.
There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got to talk about this. So the group that does the fireworks at Campfire that they've been like showing us came and did the fireworks last week.
Yeah, on Friday.
And
yeah.
me and Jerry were sitting there, and they were shooting fireworks up, and Jerry noticed that the lightning was coming down as well.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, as soon as they launched that first one off, lightning just came right down, right behind the boat there.
But not in the same place, like far away, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but still, it looked like it was right behind the boat. It's like, they're returning fire now.
Oh, gosh. I did not even notice that.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice it until Jerry pointed it out, and after that I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Also a little scary. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So as Hayden said last night, he cooked some pork chops that Sean and I went out to. Oh, he's closing the windows. Probably a good idea. But yeah, we went out to get some pork chops and Hayden cooked them. They were really good. Tonight, we went out to eat at the Davy Crockett Restaurant in Morristown, which not sponsored. But what did you all think of the Davy Crockett food at the restaurant?
I'll let Jerry say his opinions first.
So what do we all get, first of all?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had the country fried steak and some of the sides, and reasonably priced.
Yeah, it was.
Fairly good portions. And good home style cooking. I mean, just your typical family restaurant.
That is true. When I looked at the menu, it was like for the entree or whatever the main course is.
Yeah,
that's entree. Okay, yeah. It said 3 sides, and I was like, that's a lot of food. But they did a good job like portioning that out.
Yeah, and it was good. Pretty good prices too, like Jerry said. It didn't feel like I was worried it would be like a really fancy restaurant and cost like $30. So.
Yeah.
But no, it was fine. I also had the country fried steak. And I had mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and banana pudding.
Yeah, I had the Hayden Classic with the chicken tenders, macaroni, fries, and onion rings.
Yeah, which those were some massive onion rings.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you what.
They were big.
Yeah, Sean had an onion ring that was like the size of Jupiter. I don't know what. Probably the size of like an outstretched hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took a picture of it.
Yeah, we did. We took pictures of some of our plates for the Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hayden, how are your chicken tenders on the scale of Hayden chicken tender review?
So let me go from
That's the only thing he
10.
eats.
Yeah, that's true. I normally get chicken tenders. I know Jerry knows this but I normally get chicken tenders, and so people make fun of me because they're like Camp has chicken tenders, and so the whole point of going out to eat is to get away from chicken tenders. So I've been trying to eat something different. So, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably rate them probably about a 6.
Okay.
And I think the only reason is because, our food, mine and Sean's particularly, was late. Sure. And I think they sat mine to the side as they were cooking Sean's food because mine came out a little cold. It was good, but it came out a little cold. So that lowers their points a little bit. Okay. So
you had honey mustard with them, right?
Honey mustard's great.
Is that always your go-to dipping sauce?
Yeah, honey mustard or barbecue if they don't have honey mustard.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would that be in chicken tender terms? What's the 1 chicken tender and what's the 10 chicken tender?
What's the 1 chicken tender? Oh man, I don't know that I've ever had a 1.
Okay.
But like fast food chicken tenders like the McDonald's or the, I think it was Arby's or something, tried to do chicken tenders once. Those aren't good.
Okay, so that's a 1. Arby's is a 1.
I don't know about 1, but they're good. And then 10, that was good. Applebee's. Applebee's is the best.
So on a scale of Arby's to Applebee's, it was Davy Crockett Restaurant.
Yeah.
Great. What did you think, Jerry?
Like I said, food was good. I had the slaw and mac and cheese and the okra, and it all seemed to be fine. So, and I got my belly full. I was all fat and happy afterwards. So what else can you ask for?
I love the mac and cheese, but I love any mac and cheese. So I don't know how much that's saying really. But I will say, speaking of Hayden saying you want to get something different from camp food when we went out, my country fried steak was pretty much just like the country fried steak at camp, just bigger. But I will say that is one of my favorite things that we have at camp. So I don't know, but it was good and it was filling, like I said. Anyway, once again, not sponsored, but we just wanted to review our namesake restaurant in Morristown, just for fun. So it was a great trip.
We did. Me and Zeph both wore a Camp Davy Crockett shirt specifically to see if they would notice. They did not.
No one said anything. Maybe they noticed silently.
Yeah.
I don't know. We also got. I have my blue NYLT hat that Anthony gave us. He gave us both a hat because I guess they just had extras. I don't know. But they're cool.
I don't know where you're going with that.
I was just saying they're cool hats. Okay. I have a question that came onto the email, and I don't know, I don't really know who this came from, or if it was like spam or something, because it was kind of a strange question. But someone with no context emailed us at campdavychronicles@gmail.com if you want to send in questions, and asked, "Do you speak English fluently?"
See, we do.
And I was a little confused as to. I was like, do they have the right email address? Yeah. I don't know, because I would hope that we speak English fluently because we have a podcast in English.
Right. I don't know. For me, it's a strong sometimes. I can speak English, but not fluently.
Fair enough. So, Jerry, you are the quartermaster.
Yes, I am.
Correct.
Well, one of them this year.
Oh, true. Assistant quartermaster.
Yeah.
Is that his official title? What's his official title?
My official title?
No, Michael's.
I guess he's going under assistant quartermaster, but he's kind of a catch-all too. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. You both just kind of do it if it needs to be done.
Is he the errand boy?
Well,
just me.
He's been a big help this year by getting all the water out, especially in the heat that we've had here this year.
Oh, water boy, someone called.
Yeah, I mean, he's been making 2 or 3 water runs a day.
Yeah.
And that gives me time to get stuff done in the quartermaster shop that I normally wouldn't have done, or I wouldn't even be in the quartermaster quartermaster shop. So
Yeah, I definitely think he's been a big asset.
he has.
He got staff of the week first week, deservedly.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have noticed one thing that's really nice about it is the quartermaster window. Hi, thunder. The quartermaster window is right there on my eco porch, and so I'll often have people coming up there and being like, "Where's the quartermaster? Is he in?" And I'm like, "Well, he's not. He's running errands right now, or doing something." And then, but this year there has been less times when it's empty because when you're not there, he'll be there,
Right.
Vice versa. So it's nice to have a more consistent presence there because there's two of you.
And it's also nice that in years past, I'd get my cart all loaded up to go do my thing, and I'd get about to the headquarters building, and somebody would say, "Quartermaster, where you at? Somebody's at your window here," and I have to turn around and go back, and then by the time I get them taken care of, there's 2 or 3 other people on the line. I get them taken care of, and then I get a call on the radio, "We're out of toilet paper in one of the bathrooms." Well, that's where I was heading.
Yeah, that is true. I remember us having conversations about that pre-Michael.
Yeah. Would you like to explain, Jerry, for our benefit and for Hayden's? Hayden needs to expound on this because we were talking about this at the restaurant. But where does the name quartermaster come from?
Well, it's an old military term, and both the Navy and Army use it, and it was basically the person in charge of quartering all the troops, where you assign people on the ship to sleep and where they stow their gear, and same thing in the Army is making sure you have tents for everybody and the cots, and everybody's assigned to one, so you don't have 30 people in one tent and one person in another, or things like that. So
Jerry explained this to us because I asked the same question. I was like, "Oh, yeah," I don't know. And he stopped at the quartering troops part and didn't explain because he assumed that we knew what it meant. Well, it turns out that I didn't. And I had this vision in my mind of a guy that just goes and like throws quarters at troops. Like active war field, they're just throwing quarters.
No, see, I'd rather have it the other way and have the troops throw quarters on me.
So now we know that's Jerry's job is he goes around to the campsites and throws quarters at all of the scouts.
Yeah. So if you see Jerry and you have a quarter, I mean, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to catch it. Make a wish.
You throw it in the back of a Ranger. If it lands in the Ranger, you get your wish.
Oh, man. Speaking of wishes coming true, if you want to get your very own Camp Davy Chronicles patch, when you're at camp, you need to talk to me or Hayden and tell us one of the words of the day in a sentence from one of our episodes, and then we'll give you a card.
Yeah,
and you take that card to the other one, and then we'll give you the patch.
Yeah, that was a pretty good transition.
Yeah, great transition.
And I got mine.
That's
yeah,
true.
Jerry did get his patch, and if you want to know one of the words of the day for this week, well, I mean, we could just go to that now. We might as well.
Well, it's a little early, but it's up to you.
You want to tell us the word of the day, Jerry?
Okay, my word of the day is whittleshin.
Whoa. Oh, okay.
And that means going the wrong direction or counterclockwise.
Oh.
Interesting. Whittleshin.
Whittleshin.
Huh. So can you use it in a sentence for us?
Well, if you are supposed to be going east and you're going west, then you're a whittleshin.
Oh.
You're going the wrong direction.
Wait, so is this a noun or a verb? Are you a whittleshin or are you whittleshinning?
I've never heard of whittleshinning before, but I suppose, sure, why not? Or counterclockwise.
Right.
I still like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey for counterclockwise, but I don't know what you could get to say or rhyme with whittleshin.
I heard Jerry, I think it was when Hayden was putting the fan up yesterday, and he was turning something the wrong way, and Jerry was like, "Hayden, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey." Yeah, I always like to remind people that when they're not doing it correctly.
Yeah, well, for me, I struggle with my directions, right?
Yeah.
And so people say that all the time, and I'm like, I don't know which direction you're talking about.
So we put up a ceiling fan in the museum at headquarters.
Oh yeah,
A new one.
A new one.
A fancier one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Remote control and everything.
Yeah.
well, kind of remote control.
The remote control works because we took it back. We took the fan back off of the ceiling and pulled the antenna out of it, and then put it back. So the antenna is sticking out of the fan. For the rocket.
See, nobody would have noticed that until you said something.
Well, yeah. Now you know if you can prove to Sean that you're a true fan of the Camp Davy Chronicles.
There is a patch in the museum.
Fan.
Yeah, there's a Camp Davy Chronicles patch in the museum, so we're part of camp history now.
That's true,
Officially.
which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we a 30-minute process for a fan turned into like a 3-hour process because we put the antenna in the box like it said, and it turns out the fan wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So
well,
then we fixed that problem.
Yeah. That's when you have to improvise.
So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a different process. I've never installed a fan, but I have now.
Yeah.
And when we first had it inside, that one spot that Sean couldn't quite reach, we had him befuddled. Wasn't that a word?
It was. That was another bonus word. That's from an earlier episode.
Yeah, me and Zeph and Caleb could turn on the fan because you had to hold the remote right next to it. But Sean is shorter than we are, and so he could not turn on the fan.
And he's the curator of the museum. It's kind of important for him to do that.
True. Well, I told him to just leave it on and just control it with the light switch.
Yeah, I do have to say, I saw him in the museum today, and I specifically popped in really quick so he couldn't turn it on really fast, and was like, "You better be using that fan." And it was on. So
okay, well there you go. Now, we've done lots of little odd jobs around camp this week. I crawled through an attic today, which was an interesting adventure. Just feeding a wire through the attic raptors in the staff lodge. So that was fun. Yeah.
I don't know what other. I'm trying to rack my brain of odd jobs. We replaced all the lights at Pine. No, Oaks.
Oaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, that's what we used to call the new shower house when it was built 12, 13 years ago.
Or the OA shower house.
Or the OA shower. That's why we named it the Oaks, is so we can get that all figured out.
OA Oak.
And I'm glad you did that because that made it easy for me to remember. If the other one was Oak, then it would be all crossed in my brain and I wouldn't know.
It still is in mine. I have no clue what names are anymore.
Yeah, do we know how many more shower houses are we supposed to add in the next couple of years?
They were talking adding at least 2 more, but I think that's a very fluid
it seems like
process right now. So
we know
especially with building material.
Yeah, building material costs and yeah.
So of course they'll be named after more trees, we assume, but we haven't picked the trees yet.
Right. Maybe that could be a contest that we have on Camp Davy Chronicles.
Maybe.
Naming.
There we go.
The naming contest. I remember last year you were asking people for ideas for the new names for the shower houses, and I mean not to brag, but it was my idea to name them after trees.
And I think that's perfect.
I'm very proud of that
because we've got all of our campsites named after animals.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of trees. We have a lot of animals.
Right.
In camp.
We got a lot of trees.
And we got a lot of trees. So
as I was glad to represent ecology trees.
Yeah. We do have less trees now though. We sawmilled it the first this week.
Oh well, okay.
So they were fallen trees. We didn't cut them down.
Yeah.
That is the one good thing about the sawmill is we only use trees that have fallen naturally.
Yeah. And speaking
not
of
necessarily ones that need to come down.
You're right.
For safety's sake.
Correct.
Yeah.
Various reasons, but you're not just cutting down trees willy-nilly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
We have a plan, man.
So with all this weather this week and the much rain and much storming, Hayden keeps telling me about this particle accelerator that's causing the storms. And I'm thinking this sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, and I don't know what he's talking about.
No, so there's it apparently was turned off for a little while, a particle accelerator. I didn't know where it was. I thought it was local, but it turns out it's not. And Jerry said that it was in Switzerland. I was like, it isn't in Switzerland. Turns out it's in Switzerland.
See, I learned that from the Big Bang Theory. They had an episode about that.
So, but no, it was in Switzerland. They turned it off for a couple of years, and they've turned it back on recently to start new experiments and different things like that. And there's a group of conspiracy theorists who say that this is like sucking in all the storms and stuff, and so that's why we've had really bad storms. Because apparently the entire world's had storms this week.
Oh man.
So
maybe it's all Switzerland's fault.
Yeah,
although I don't know that it's a bad thing for us because again we really needed the rain.
Right.
So
it is hurricane season too. So
that too.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things in a line. Now my camp conspiracy.
Okay.
So a few years back we had a NYLT. Like when I went through NYLT as a participant.
Right.
And it came a really bad storm that time. And it was actually, I looked it up in my memory thing. It was on Thursday night when we did the overnighter.
Oh, man.
And guess what? Tonight's Thursday, and they're doing the overnighter.
Oh, man.
And it's storming fairly bad.
Was there a storm last year at NYLT?
I don't know.
I don't think that
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because they did that at the beginning of the summer last year.
Maybe it's jinxed.
Maybe.
So, all you youngins who want to go take NYLT, figure it out. Every other year you get a rainstorm. So pick your dry year so you don't have to
or just be prepared for rain.
Yeah, next year seems like the good.
Be prepared. I've heard that someplace before.
We should make that our motto or something.
Yeah, there you go.
But NYLT this week we have in the middle of the summer. I think last year was beginning of the summer, which this was going to be the specialty week. Correct. And then that was canceled because not enough people signed up for it. Which
it's a shame. Yeah. But I've also enjoyed this week. So
yeah, but it also made it a nice chill week for us. So, but I am looking forward to next year when we have a proper week 4 on this week again.
Yeah, that means we'll have a week 5. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not the way it used to be.
Right. In my mind, the current week 4 just is week 5, and week 4, which was the 4th of July week, has been deleted. So I know that's not we still call the last week 4, but in my mind it's week 5.
Right.
So we'll have week 4 back next year.
Yeah, what would be really cool? I think we used to have week 6 because it was always called Super 6.
Yeah, Super Week 6.
I would really, really like to bring that back.
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe we skip 5.
They would still have the Weeblos camp would be part of week 6, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of still how it is, but it's just I don't know if they had a full scout week then.
I'm not sure. I wasn't around for staff.
We should ask someone from before times on staff. Jerry?
So Jerry,
Jerry's been on staff as long as we have.
Yeah, but
he's also like a historian.
Oh, that's true. He's one of our camp historians, him and Sean.
Yeah. Speaking of history, there was something that we need to talk about.
And what's that?
The history book.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we talked about that last week.
So 3 years ago.
Wait, hold on. We need to address the glitch that just happened on our audio because that was Jerry. If you hear on the audio, it said so twice, but he actually only said it once, and for some reason, our power just went out for 1 second from the storm, and the audio just doubled. When we went back.
But we're leaving it in.
We're leaving it in for fun, for the laughs. So enjoy that little technical glitch and continue on talking about the history book now, Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not Max Headroom. I mean, I know I'm back from that era, but I'm not Max Headroom, you know. But 3 years ago, we first started talking about the 50th anniversary and how we should start working on some of the stuff and ideas. And that year had 2 or 3 incidences. We lost one of our Wednesday crew members.
Yeah.
A couple others got sick. And then when we were building the dining hall, there were questions on the old dining hall, so on and so forth. Right. And I started realizing that some of our older scouters, we're losing them, and we're losing the stories of Camp Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
And how did this building happen? And somebody didn't know about this happening, and so on and so forth. So that's when I started compiling information, trying to get people to submit pictures and things like that so we could start putting the book together. And after about 3 years, and we're starting to get close to camp, that's when Hayden and I sat down and Hayden started doing his graphics magic thing while I was pulling the information from here and there and all the other things that I had gathered up and start to put them in a book. And the book is now for sale at the Trading Post.
Yeah, I do have to say though, we were out eating, and Jerry mentioned this, and Dale turned around and he was like, "Oh, I know a graphics design person," and I turned and I shook my head no, and he goes, "Sounds like he said yes." And,
Yeah, that happens a lot here.
Yeah. And so I did not originally want to help. I'm going to be honest. I did not originally because I knew it was going to be a big undertaking. And me and Jerry, from the start of ROTC week 1, sat and almost every night sat and worked on it all the way until the middle of week 1 of summer camp. So that's 3 weeks, almost 30 man hours. Well, I guess it would have been like 60 man hours because you.
Well, that was just compiling. The
right,
book.
yeah, just designing.
But me gathering up the information because we found some old slides in the museum when Sean first started doing the museum. And I took those into town and had them digitized so we could start. And there's a lot of those pictures in the book, and they're really cool of what camp looked like 50 years ago.
Yeah, sorry, Hayden. Jerry did a lot more work than you.
Well, no, he definitely worked on it way longer than I did. All I did was sat and laid it out, and hopefully the way Jerry kind of saw it. But I do have to say, sitting down with Jerry and like listening to the stuff and seeing the pictures was absolutely fascinating. Even though as much as I've complained about like having to do the book and stuff, I thoroughly enjoyed that process.
We should have a special podcast extra that's the audiobook version, and it's just Jerry flipping through the book and talking about everything.
Well, let's get the book that's in the right order first. Our second printing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a second printing of the book already.
All right.
The printer did not get all the pages in the order that we would like to have had them in. Let's just put it that way.
There's that timeline running across the bottom.
Right.
Is that out of order?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it starts in 2022. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but camp was not opened in 2022.
Okay. It was open, but it was already opened before.
Correct.
For another 50 years prior to that.
Something like that. It's our 50th anniversary or something. I think.
Yeah, no one knew that?
I think I heard someone say that once. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So, how much is the book in the Trading Post?
I'm not sure. I think it's
$25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is a hardback.
Yes. It's really nice.
Color. It is really nice. As someone who didn't work on it, I will say from an objective standpoint, it's a really nice looking book.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And we probably could have put a ton more info in there. And I know I didn't get every part of camp in there, and if I didn't hit somebody's favorite part, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were definitely budget limited as well. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody wants to pay $450 for the 50-year history of Camp Davy Crockett.
It's 300 pages.
Yeah.
Bookmark
in there, little ribbon bookmark like a Bible. Really nice.
Yeah. Other things have ribbon bookmarks, not just the Bible.
Well, that's probably the most common thing I have.
You want to be a librarian, you should know these things.
I don't know. Anyway, okay. Okay, so we did the word of the day. We did not do the joke of the day yet.
Correct.
So Jerry asked me to do my backup joke of the day. I've had this one ready for a few weeks because I've been waiting for a chance to use it.
Well, then fire away.
There we go. So, why does Humpty Dumpty not have a girlfriend?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
They broke up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was just as bad as I thought it was going to be.
We'll be here next week. Tip your waiters.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So, Hayden, do you think it's time for the official interview portion?
I think it is. I think we're ready to get started.
Okay. I think we are as well. So, Jerry, we've kind of covered some of this already, but your position on camp staff and how many years you have worked.
I worked quartermaster for 5 years now.
There you go. Easy enough. All right.
Yeah. You haven't had any other position, which is Jerry has been one of the best quartermasters that Well, I guess can't say that I've worked with because he's the only quartermaster.
Well, you are the best quartermaster that we've worked with.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's true. But like over the years, he's just been a great quartermaster, and it's nice to have somebody other than the Rangers that you can call down and be like, "Hey, I need this," and he's just there.
I also think he's our first guest to still be in the same position he's always been in. Right?
Yeah.
I think everyone else has had multiple positions. So
that's
you're
cool.
you're our first consistently positioned guest.
Right.
Well, see, that kind of works with my shop.
Right.
Because it's one of the only shops that has been in its same position since camp was started.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Everything else is pretty much moved except the quartermaster shop.
And headquarters, right?
Well, don't forget, headquarters burnt, and it's been rearranged a little bit, too.
So
but it's still in the same place.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
But the quartermaster shop hasn't been burnt, and it's still in the same place.
There you go. So you got a leg up on the headquarters, too.
That's true. So this one could be an interesting one, because so far you are our most involved guest that has been in Scouts the longest. I'm trying to skip saying you're old.
Hey, it is what it is, you know?
You did interview Mike Wolf.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, he's older than you, I think. No, I don't know.
Anyway, that
he's
doesn't
like
matter.
71.
That's what he says.
If you're listening, Mike, I had nothing to do with this.
He's sliding me quarters on the table. So, okay. What troops have you been in, and how many years in scouting have you been in?
I'm probably closing in on 35 years of scouting.
Okay.
I started out with a troop in a little town called Franklin, Pennsylvania. I was with them about 6 months before the troop folded and moved to the troop that I stayed with through my scouting days, and where I made my Eagle. That was Troop 34.
Okay.
Do you know your Eagle Scout class year?
Yes, 79.
Oh, okay. So he's another guest who knows. We've had a consistent problem with people having no clue when they got their Eagle.
Well, that 79 was a big year for me because that was the year I graduated high school. It didn't sound like I graduated high school, but the year I graduated high school, the year I went into service, I made Eagle. My two favorite teams won the championship for their respected sport.
Right.
So that was a big year for me. So it's kind of hard to It's kind of hard to forget that one. I then got involved with Cub Scout Pack in just outside St. Louis, in a little town called Belleville. I was the Weeblos leader there.
Cool.
I then worked with a Cub Scout Pack in England when I was stationed over there. It was a U.S., American Cub Scout pack, but we did a lot of activities with some of the British Scouts. And
now, was that on base or was that a separate thing?
It was on base, but a lot of our activities, like our summertime pack awards and things like that, we did a lot of those off base, so we could include some of the.
That's really cool.
Some of the British Scouts. Got out of scouting for a little bit there while I was in the military and doing some other things. But then when my boys came along, then I got back involved in it. Started out with Cub Pack 230 in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Then moved up to the Scout Troop. 230, was a Scoutmaster there for a short period of time before moving down here. Got hooked up with Troop 240.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Is there second 240 guests in a row?
And then when those boys that I got re-involved with scouting when they were in Cub Scouts made Eagle and were aging out. And this is their words, not mine, but they did not want to be the old fart sitting around the fire. They wanted to keep doing and earning things, so on and so forth. So that's when we looked around and founded the Venture Crew. Both my sons, myself, were some of the founding members of Venture Crew 240 that's still going today. Yeah. And then I got involved with Cub Scout Day Camp there in Buffalo Mountain District, and then moved up to summer camp. And that was interesting too because Dale was advertising for staff help for Freddy.
Right.
And he was kind of pushing all the benefits of working on staff and everything. And I made comment that even old people can join. Yeah. And Dale said, that's right. And the following day, I get a phone call from Freddy. Word travels fast, and now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think all of the Troop 240 people kind of get involved, is because Dale's like, hey, so what's your summer look like?
Even before he was camp director, he was always
for camp.
He was always pushing. I remember him going out at one of our troop meetings when we got to summer camp on our list of things that we needed to talk about. He just walked out there in front of all of us and said, "Uncle Freddy wants you." I remember that was hilarious to me. That has remained seared into my memory. Yeah. So he was always a great advertiser for staff.
And then, of course, it didn't help, or it didn't hurt or help, whichever way you want to look at it. That I had just started with the Wednesday crew, the following or the previous fall, and was just getting into Wednesday crew and got to know Freddy a little better than just being camp director and some of the other older scouters that have been here for years.
Which is really cool. I've got to say, I have got to work with the Wednesday crew for a little while now, and these older scouters who come and volunteer, they're some awesome people. They have some awesome stories of when they were younger, and that's probably my favorite part of sitting around with the Wednesday crew is getting to hear some of the stuff they did when they were younger and some of the stuff that they just. It's pretty cool.
Maybe we should interview some of them sometime.
It would be really fascinating.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, Jerry, what is your favorite campsite and your favorite program shelter?
Ooh.
My favorite campsite probably has to be Moose.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's up on the hill. It's in the woods. You put those old green tents up there because it's still a primitive campsite. Right. That's like flashback of scout camp for me many, many years ago. And I mean, that's just what I visualize.
Right.
The old-fashioned scout campsite at summer camp should look like.
Now, have you ever stayed in Moose?
No, I've never stayed in Moose.
But no, I agree with what you're saying. It's just a pretty cool place.
So, and it's up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And, so everything is kind of down. Easy to get to the dining hall, and everything's downhill now. Coming back, that's a whole different story for us old people, but okay.
And I remember hearing your stories from the first couple of years you worked. That's where you would go out to get phone signal, and you would wait.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to go up there and get to the very top of Moose and then stand out of the cart. I couldn't sit on my golf cart and get signal. I had to get out of the golf cart and go sit on a stump or a log or something to be able to get signal. And then the wildlife that you see up there, because you see more deer, especially on the backside where all the other campers aren't. You see more deer and the turkey and
no moose though.
No moose. I haven't seen a moose in there.
On the back of that campsite, it goes down into a big hollow, doesn't it? Hollow.
So what about program shelter?
Program shelter.
This one's interesting. Does the quartermaster shop fit within the program shelter?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, not really.
Eco Porch does.
But I would probably have to say first year. Or Eagle Bound. I'm sorry.
Right. It's
now called Eagle Bound.
Still no water, though.
Yeah, still no water, no electricity.
No Batmobile.
Yeah.
Or Iron suits. So that's for the OA, though.
Yeah. So what is your reasoning behind that?
Again, it just has that typical scout shelter look to it. Not only do you have the shelter over here, and it's got the flagpole on it, you can see where the fire rings were, but then you go across the street and that's where the axe yard's at, that type of thing, which all that's part of scouting.
Right, that's true. And it is also kind of I've always liked that shelter because you kind of it feels like you're getting away from camp.
True.
You're not, because you can still get to the main camp fairly easily, but you're kind of back in the woods. It's kind of a nice place to just hang out. It's quiet back there. I like first year shelter as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. What is your favorite dining hall food? Your meal. It can either be something we're having or that we've had in the past.
Oh, it has to be in the past, and that cherry blossom chicken with the egg rolls. That was my favorite. That was my favorite.
We've added one to the army.
Everyone keeps saying it. We now have a record of multiple people who keep saying they want it back.
Right. And to be fair to the dining hall crew, it is not because they took it off the menu. They just can't find it.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's not their fault.
Lost to time.
Yeah. So hopefully next year.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I love the cherry blossom chicken.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry. Here's your next question. What is your favorite Marvel movie?
Marvel movie. I'm not on the Marvel thing. How about Batman?
Yeah,
I was going to expand then if you didn't have an answer and say, what's your favorite superhero movie? Which
I'll stick with that.
Batman could be a valid answer.
I do have to say, Love and Thunder, Thor Love and Thunder is coming out this week.
You can hear the advertisements for it out right now.
Exactly.
We plan to go watch that on our night off. Zeph's not going with us because his night's off on Tuesday.
Yeah, but I'll see it this weekend.
Yeah, but we plan on doing a little review about that.
Yeah, on the YouTube channel, we will have our short review of Thor 4, the fourth Thor, as we all know it should have been.
Yeah, it should have been named that.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay.
So I get to ask that.
I like Batman too, but it's not Marvel. But
like I said, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm really interested about this one because this could go both ways. What is your favorite or one of your favorite camp stories?
Probably my favorite camp story is The Bird in the Fence.
Okay. I'm sure I've heard it, but
a couple years ago, of course, I'm doing quartermastering, and first 2 years for me quartermastering, it's like somebody said, oh yeah, you get to unclog the toilets, and oh yeah, that's part of the quartermaster duty, and this is part of the quartermaster duty. And I'm slowly incorporating all this into my routine. Don't mind doing it. Keeping busy makes the day go quick, and so on and so forth. But get a call over the radio for the quartermaster that there is a bird stuck in the fence by the dumpster.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, okay, I get quartermastering, but I didn't realize that I was part of the bird rescue league or something like that, So sure enough, I go around at that time, the dining hall, we now called STEM Center, and we had that fence there with the dumpster that likes to collect raccoons and stuff there back behind it. And there was a blackbird who somehow or other got a foot on one side of the fence and the rest of his body on the other side of the fence in the between two of the slats there on the fence. So, okay, and it's flopping around and wings flapping and the whole 9 yards, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I finally I go around back behind, push on one slat, pull on another, and that was enough for the blackbird to get its foot out of there, and it immediately crashed to the ground because it had been thrashing itself. It had to be injured. Yeah. But I come back around, just going to my cart, and there were 3 scouts lined up right there, and the next thing you know, right at head level, right between 2 scouts, this kestrel came down and just tried to snatch.
That was me.
Yeah, no, I remember that because I have a picture of the bird before it got attacked.
Right.
And it came between Zeph and Pop-Tart.
That was me and Chris.
Oh, yeah. You and Chris, but me and Pop-Tart were there because I took pictures.
Yeah, it was, I could feel it.
Yeah, no, I remember this.
Yeah. And that was a high rate of speed, and it came down and it tried to grab that blackbird. Of course, blackbird's still flopping around, and it didn't get a good grip on it, and it immediately went up into the tree, and it just sat there.
Yeah. No,
waiting for all of us to leave because
it was taking it out.
Yeah. We were going to lose the blackbird.
Yeah.
But that kestrel, I've seen around camp several times. I had seen it out on the parade ground, in the morning. I do the coffee at 6:00 in the morning for the scoutmasters. And it would sit up. There's one dead branch hanging over the parade field on the pool side, and it would sit up there, and it would snatch something out of that field every now and again. And I've also seen it up at Moose. It likes sitting on top one of the frames up there at Moose, and it's not overly concerned when I go up there to try and make my phone calls. It's not overly concerned that I was there.
It's pretty neat.
That's one of my favorite stories too. This is one of the coolest animal encounters I've ever had.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I remember
feeling the air swoosh.
Well, I mean, that thing was hauling when it came down. I mean, it was in full, it was in full dive when it was heading down towards.
To know how fast it was going.
It was not going to let Jerry steal his food. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then we left it alone and came back and it was gone. So either it flew away or it got it. So
I'm pretty sure the Kestrel got it.
Oh, yeah, no. I have a picture of it. I'll send that to Zeph and let him post that.
Okay. Yeah, we can put that on Instagram today along with the picture of Jerry on the day when this goes up.
Okay.
On Monday. Yeah. All right. So your next question is the question asked by our previous guest, Pop-Tart.
Oh, I'm very interested.
Yeah, this is an either-or question. It is either what is the best prank that you've played on camp, or if you haven't, then what's the best prank that you've witnessed?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this one could have been really interesting, or can be really interesting. I'm enjoying it. Because Jerry could incriminate himself here.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about...
Maybe I shouldn't just answer this and just plead the fifth on this right now.
If you pranked anyone, you've got to answer the first question.
Okay. Yeah, I've probably pranked somebody before, one way or another. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah, accident.
Yeah. Well, or that, or I was in the moment.
Right.
Kind of moved on.
Nothing major, though. I mean,
so nothing major.
Nothing damaging camp property, at least.
No.
He would have had to fix it.
Yeah. Quartermaster, somebody broke. I know that was quartermaster. So
break out himself.
So, is there a favorite prank that you've witnessed or been privy to?
Still trying not to incriminate himself.
Yeah. Well, I've seen so many of them, around camp. Yeah. Somebody doing something to somebody.
Yeah.
I think probably the best prank I saw, I think it was last year, towards the end of camp last year. One of the troops went through and turned everything upside down at the pool.
Oh, yeah.
And then put everything back exactly where it was. Everything was upside down. I mean,
that's a classic.
They took the picnic tables, turned it upside down. All the stuff that was on the picnic table were in the same exact spot, except for on the bottom of the top of the picnic table. And
that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the water jug.
Yeah.
They turned it upside down and sitting on top of the upside down, and they turned all the cups that were upside down to keep from getting. When they turned them upside right, but
I mean,
the attention to detail on that was pretty good.
I do have to say, we do not condone pranks.
Right.
And if you plan on pranking somebody, don't break camp property.
Yes. And anything. I mean,
it's not funny when you break something.
Right. And some of the funniest pranks are the ones that are like really elaborate like that don't break anything, but maybe just,
And try not to inconvenience anybody.
Yeah, don't make Jerry's life harder.
Oh, that was all pool stuff, so I had no problem with that.
I don't care.
It's okay for me because Monic's life.
Now, all the stuff up and down the old parade field flagpole.
Oh, yeah. Flagpole pranks are not cool.
Yeah, no, not funny.
So,
most pranks that people pull aren't funny.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just an inconvenience.
Yeah.
So, be creative.
Be creative and don't hurt anything.
Yeah. All right. What is your question for the next guest? And you don't know who the next guest is, so it could be interesting.
Sweet and simple. What is going to be your legacy for camp?
Oh, that's a deep question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. And Jerry, our final question. If you've listened to our previous episodes, you should know the context. Are you team doors or wheels?
It's a hard question.
Yeah. I would probably have to say team door.
Wow.
Okay.
Just go through and keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. So,
simple answer. Well, Hayden was originally said doors, and then I changed his mind.
Then I switched it. It's how many do you think there are more doors in the world or wheels in the world?
Right.
So, yeah, it's interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm still doors.
Okay.
I'm still doors.
That's all the questions.
Yeah.
So
because my house has more doors than wheels, so we're good.
I'm gonna do.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, before we get to the final couple segments, we'll tease our next episode for the week 4 episode. Will be with Tate Weber, our lakefront director. So he'll be our next guest on here. You can look forward to that.
Now Jerry knows.
Now he knows.
But I already asked the question. And
Tate, what will your legacy be? You'll have to answer next week. Tune in next week to hear his answer. Okay. Yeah. So now for our penultimate segment of the night is the staff quotes.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite one.
So I actually didn't write them down because I just remembered them this time.
Okay.
But I'm going to read some staff quotes, and they're not necessarily from this week, but so that we don't have to narrow down program areas and everything, I will tell you up front, all of them are from people who were at some point here at camp this week.
Right. Okay. I do have to say,
yes.
You just said you're going to read them, but you said you didn't write any of them down.
Yeah, I'm not going to read them. I'm going to read them off my brain.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But these are all
so
from...
that mean you turn your eyeballs on the side there? And
so there's narrowing down your options.
Yeah, okay.
You'll have to teach me how to do
from
that.
People who are at camp this week. Okay. So the first quote, is Uncle Milton lying to us?
Is Uncle Milton lying to us? Okay, I'm gonna go with a strange one, and Jerry, you can pick yours as well. I'm going with James Kressel, our dining hall director, and the reason is I feel like I have seen a brand in the dining hall that is Uncle Milton. I know we have Uncle or Grandma or whatever, the cookies.
Grandma's cookies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guess. James Kressel. Trying to remember who's been here.
Yeah.
And I don't get to work with.
Yeah.
The program staff especially as close as what you guys do. I'd probably have to say that almost sounds like something he would say, so I'd say James.
The answer revealed is Sean Ciccone.
What?
And now for the context, Uncle Milton is the brand that sells the toy ant farms.
Oh, okay. So I was right with the brand thing.
Right.
It sounds like a brand.
So it's like a toy brand, but it sells ant farms.
Yeah.
And so we were this was before the first week of camp actually.
Okay.
Sean and I we set up the ant farm in the eco room that we had ordered 3 years ago and came without ants. And so this year I asked for ants and then they didn't end up getting ordered either. So I just have an ant farm set up now without ants. But as we were going through this and we were reading in the directions and it's telling you things about ants, and Sean and I were questioning some of these things, and Sean said, is Uncle Milton lying to us? And so there's that. Okay, so next one. I don't think the answer is Gatling gun flowers.
What? I don't think the answer is Gatling gun flowers. I don't know. Because, I mean, our only options of people who have been here on staff is James has been here, Sean's been here, Pop-Tart's been here.
This week. Oh, yeah. Well, that basically tells you it's not Pop-Tart.
Yeah, okay.
Because I didn't know but yeah, I remember.
So we got you, James, and Sean.
Okay.
Who's been on staff. Or Jerry or Michael Kiesecker. And I don't think Michael Kiesecker would say that. Or I don't think Jerry would say that. Oh, man.
I was in the Air Force, so it's more of a missile kind of thing with me. So
I don't know on this one. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, JD was here. I'm going with JD.
Okay.
I feel like he references guns quite a bit in his life.
This one was. Do you want to guess, Jerry? Or?
I'm going to say Mike Wolf.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about
this.
This
one's kind of a trick question because this was me.
Whoa.
I quoted myself.
The fourth wall.
Yeah, I broke the rules a little bit maybe.
Wow.
But this was in my insect study class.
Okay.
I missed that class. Bet you I was unclogging the toilet.
We have some really interesting discussions in insect study sometimes, but we're talking about the scouts are supposed to come up with ideas about what might cause colony collapse disorder, which is where colonies of bees will just disperse and die for no apparent reason. And scientists, we don't know, well, not like I'm a scientist. Scientists don't know exactly what causes it, and so that's one of the requirements is we have to talk about it and possible causes.
Yeah.
And so one of the scouts suggested that maybe the flowers are shooting down the bees with Gatling guns, and I said I don't think that's the answer. Okay, so the final one. I asked. This is an answer to me. Okay. So I asked, "What is the point of round beds?" And someone said, "Round people."
Hey, I resemble that remark. What, doesn't that make you a well-rounded person? If you
and this actually was
round bed.
That's true.
And this is the one that actually was this week.
This week?
Yes.
I have no clue. I don't even know where to guess.
Yeah.
It was Joseph Baum.
I forgot that he was here.
He is here.
Okay.
There's more people on the NYLT.
I would have never guessed him.
Yeah. There you go. There was something playing on the TV that they're watching about round beds. And I was like, what's the...
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that one.
All right, our final segment now is Hayden's thought of the day, and he wrote it down in my notebook.
Well, don't read it.
Is that it?
No.
No? Okay, just keep flipping until you find it.
So I do have to say, we've planned this really well, first off, because... Hold on, I gotta find my notes here. We have planned this really... It stopped raining almost.
Oh, that's true.
And so we are leaving in the not rain.
Yeah, the Thor Thunder advertisement is over.
Where does your notepad work?
It's on the back of one of those pages, isn't it?
Okay, hold on. My thoughts here
Technical
somewhere.
difficulties. Hayden's... he lost the page that it was on.
You're having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Please stand by.
Well, I don't know if it's really it's just a notebook. It's fairly simple technology.
Yeah, it's just me.
We were having Hayden difficulties. And we're just...
I told him to flip one page.
But my interview questions are on the first page.
So
because they haven't changed since... I don't know. Good grief. You could just pause this. Okay, you found it.
All right.
I'm starting to get a little worried there.
So we're gonna change a little subject here. We're in Alaska now.
We are?
Yeah, we are in Alaska.
Ooh,
it is cold. Yeah,
lots of mosquitoes.
Remember, I don't care about that. Remember, it's cold.
Okay.
And say you have a freezer outside. Okay. Now the freezing point of things is 32, right?
Fahrenheit, yes.
Right. So if it's colder than 32 outside, and it's that cold in the freezer, is the freezer a warmer? Because if it stays constantly at 32, like in theory, I know some freezers get colder than that, obviously, but if it's
like our big one,
yeah. If it's a colder temperature outside than it is inside the freezer, is the freezer a warmer?
Technically, yeah. It won't warm it past freezing point.
It's a warmer freezer.
Yeah. It's a freezing warmer.
I get it. It's a wordplay. Good job, Jerry. Okay.
But no, I don't remember who I was talking to last week. It was one of the campers, and we were talking about that, and he blew my mind, and I was like, "That's hilarious." And so, if that was you, kudos.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Well, it's been messing with my mind this whole time.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just remember, if you have a freezer outside and it's below that temperature of the freezer, you're just warming your food.
Yeah. Well, anything more to say, Jerry, before we sign off?
Just enjoy our 50th anniversary year. They only come around once. And most of us will not be around for the 100th anniversary. So enjoy camp, enjoy everything about the 50th anniversary, and help make memories and help make memories for maybe our 75th anniversary.
Yeah.
Maybe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a picture of yourself, put it in your scrapbook.
What?
Take a picture of yourself, put it in your scrapbook.
Sure, I guess. All right. Well, make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Camp Davy Chronicles to see our meals from the Davy Crockett Restaurant, as well as what else did we say earlier that we were going to put on there?
The bird.
Yeah, the picture of the bird from the store.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And subscribe on whatever you're listening to, and make sure you check out the YouTube channel for our Thor review and other things.
And volleyball.
Yeah, and volleyball coverage and other exclusive YouTube things. And if you want to check out extra staff quotes exclusive on our Twitter page at Davy Chronicles, that's where those are.
Yeah.
I think that's all of those things.
I guess it.
It's been a great day to be a scout at Camp Davy Fun.
Bye.
Camp Davy Chronicles. It's a podcast about Camp Davy Crockett.